สำหรับช่วงนี้เชิญพบกับการเสวนาเรื่อง Multicultural Skills ซึ่งจะเป็นการบรรยายภาษาอังกฤษโดยได้รับเกียรติจากนางสาวแสงแขคงห้วยรอบผู้อำนวยการกลุ่มสถาบันภาษาอังกฤษศูนย์บริหารการพัฒนาศักยภาพบุคคลเพื่อความเป็นเลิศกระทรวงศึกษาธิการนางสาวอภิญญาศรีเสนครูโรงเรียนโกสุมวิทยาสันจังหวัดมหาสารคาม Miss Alison Dodo Hill Director of Primary and Secondary School Basis International School Bangkok นางสาวมนราดาแย้มกสิกรนักการทูตชำนาญการกรมความร่วมมือระหว่างประเทศกระทรวงการต่างประเทศและรองศาสตราจารย์ดร.ทิติมดีอาพัฒนานนท์อาจารย์สาขาวิชาพหุวัฒนธรรมศึกษาสถาบันวิจัยภาษาและวัฒนธรรมเอเชียมหาวิทยาลัยมหิดลครับและขณะนี้หากทุกท่านพร้อมแล้วผมขอส่งต่อช่วงนี้ให้กับผู้ดำเนินรายการคือรองศาสตราจารย์ดร.ทิติมดีอาพัฒนานนท์อาจารย์สาขาวิชาพหุวัฒนธรรมศึกษาสถาบันวิจัยภาษาและวัฒนธรรมเอเชียมหาวิทยาลัยมหิดลครับขอเรียนเชิญ
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the session Multicultural Skills. My name is Titi Madi Patananon. I will be the moderator for this session. Today, we are honored to have speakers from various fields and experiences to share with you their thought on the multicultural skills that are necessary for today's globalized world. First, let me start with the introduction, the short introduction of each speaker and where they are from. Please, Kun Alice, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Alison Donahue, and I am currently the director of primary and upper school at Basis International School of Bangkok. I have worked at another international school in Thailand as elementary school principal and as accreditation coordinator for the school. I have 30 years experience in international education, working as a teacher from primary school all the way up to high school. I've also led academic programs such as AP, the IB, the British curriculum courses as well. I'm originally from the United States, but I have lived and worked internationally for about 30 years, and I'm very happy to join you today in this webinar.
Thank you. Kun Apinya, can you introduce yourself?
Good day, everyone. It's such an honor for me to be here. My name is Apinya Sen. I am an English teacher at Kosuk Vidyasan School in Mahasarkham province. It's like a small province in the northeastern part of Thailand. And I have been teaching for 5 years.
Thank you. Dr. Sankler, please. Kun Sankler, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sankler Kong Hui Rob, and I'm the director of English Language Institute, OBEC, or Office of Basic Education Commission, Ministry of Education, Thailand. And I'm very honored and very humbled to be here discussing about multicultural skills with all of you, and looking forward to hearing from all of many aspects today, and hope that we can share our insights.
Thank you. Mulada.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Munrada Yamkasikorn. I'm from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from the Thailand International Cooperation Agency. I just came back from Beijing. Recently, I was posted in Beijing, China, for 4 years. It is an honor to be here joining the discussion of a very important topic and very relevant to everyone today. So I look forward to a fruitful discussion today.
Great. Thank you so much, all of you. We would like to start with the question of from your own experience, right? what do you think should be the important multicultural skills when the borders of the countries in today's world is very blurred and everyone can travel more easily compared to the past? So the chances to encounter or to meet with people from different cultures are more common. Right. So in your own experience, working experience, and maybe personal experience, I would like to start with the first question of what do you think should be the most important multicultural skills, both for Thai children and for children in other countries that you have experience working with? Kun Sangkare, can I start with you, please? You can either share your thought or you can present from the PowerPoint. Either way would be great.
Thank you, Ka Ajahn. Well, the skills necessary to live and work and thrive in today's globalized world require careful integration, like both multicultural competencies and language proficiency, especially in the context of Thailand's growing role in international education and business. And to increase multicultural skills of learners in Thailand, integrating the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, or in short, we call it CEFR, into language learning is one of the key. Yeah. So one of the keys. So I'd like to share the quick history of English language teaching reform policy on my slide, and this slide will give you the quick overview of how the Ministry of Education announcement to the policy regarding the CEFR. And can I see the slide, please? And the CEFR, as we know, it is we talk about the language proficiency, yeah. And when we talk about multiculturalism, first that comes into my mind would be language proficiency, because language is a gateway to understanding other cultures, and English has become an international language. The Thai education policy emphasizes improving English proficiency as part of its broader strategy to develop global competitiveness. And I'm not sure if everybody can see my slide now. Yes, okay, thank you. From my screen, I can't see it. I'm sorry. So as you can see, that the ministry has adopted CEFR framework as a guideline. So the curriculum, the teacher training, students' language proficiency testing and training, language learning, everything has been aligned with CEFR framework, along with using technological media. And now in this year, we're promoting AI, and also the content that students can be able to access anywhere, anytime. So I think this is the way, and the way that students can plan their own learning pathway using English in this multicultural society.
Okay, so what are other skills? I understand that the Ministry of Education in Thailand emphasize, right, preparing children in Thailand to have English language skill and incorporating CEFR framework, right, in terms of the guideline for teaching English, and also testing, evaluating the skills in language proficiency of students. But from your point of view and from the ministry point of view, what are other skills beside the language? Have the ministry talked about other skills as well?
Yes, absolutely. Would be critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, because in this multicultural stage, students, teachers, educational personnel would be working, collaborating with many people from different backgrounds, like with this diversity, students and teachers are aimed at dealing with cultural differences or different language backgrounds and different we can I think we can talk about the minority language as well in our society. So if teachers and students and educational personnel have strong proficiency in these skills, I mean, both critical thinking and problem solving skills and also language proficiency skills, they will be equipped to handle the situations in different contexts.
Can you give an examples of other languages? You mentioned that the ministry are aware that not only English, right, but other languages are important as well. Can you also mention or give an examples of what kind of language the ministry have been talking about, and what are the policy or the strategies to equip students with those languages skills?
I can put Chinese language for the first priority. Like beside English language, also we have variety of languages for students to learn. Not only Chinese, not only English. We also have Korean, German, French, and I think we have Vietnamese into learning elective courses in some schools. And if we come back to Chinese language that I mentioned earlier, the ministry has now announced that schools can initiate the program of Chinese program. The Chinese program, and students can learn math or science through Chinese. So not only English anymore, and so it's more like Chinese medium instruction that is starting this year round, and we have a lot of, I think more than, well, it's just a pilot project right now. So we have 10 newcomers of the schools who are willing to do this pilot project with us, and I think it has been great news for the ministry, because we have the EP, the English program schools, and have international program schools under OBEC. But this year we would have the first Chinese program schools under OBEC.
Wow.
So
under
it's
OBEC.
under OBEC, yeah. So not only English programs or international programs that I mentioned, but Chinese programs. And I think that it will be beneficial for students and parents or community that are preparing their children to learning or working in Chinese context in the future.
Okay, so these Chinese medium school are not private schools, right? They will be government school,
Yes.
but in addition to the EP program that we have right now, we would have like Chinese medium instruction in Thai government school.
Yes.
Wow, I'm excited to know more about that. And it will be launched this year, this coming
This coming
academic year.
Yes.
Okay, wow. Thank you so much. We have question from I think from one of the speaker about the exchange program of sending our students out to the world, to other countries, to meet with people from different part of the world. What are the policy of the ministry about that, or accepting exchange students from other countries into Thailand?
Well, it's been many projects or like mutual programs. We have different diverse programs for teachers and students to choose and pick based on their preferences. And we work with many stakeholders, with organizations such as Peace Corps or AFS international exchange programs or any other programs that I haven't mentioned. But if you give me the time to list, it would take like 10 hours. But yes, there are many programs for students and teachers to choose based on their preferences.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Can I move to the next speaker to share their thoughts on this question of the most important or some of the important multicultural skills to live and work in today's world? Can I ask Kun Alice from Basis International School to share her thoughts?
Thank you very much. I agree that the languages are a crucial part of learning multicultural skills and being able to practice those skills as well. Within international schools, English is normally the language of instruction. So it is assumed that the students will be learning and speaking and learning to communicate through the English language. Many international schools also offer courses either at a native language level or at a second language level for the languages that are relevant to the students, such as perhaps Korean, Chinese, Japanese, and perhaps some other maybe Western languages, right? So yes, the idea of learning languages, learning to be fluent and competent in those languages is extremely important. Along with those language skills come more like soft skills, right? The multicultural skills that will allow people around the world to be able to better communicate, to understand each other, to show respect, and to come to agreements and to make the world really a better place. Some of those skills can include, firstly, an awareness of one's own culture. When we understand our own culture, what our beliefs are, what our biases are, what our values are, we are then more aware of culture and can understand other cultures better. Right? And in order to do that, asking questions is an important part, right? Be an inquirer, ask questions, show curiosity rather than show what you know. Ask those questions and try to learn. So that skill of open-mindedness, being open to new things, being open to hearing differences, different perspectives. I believe it's important that we are humble in our skills as well. So when we are in a different culture or we're listening to things that are perspectives that are different, it's important to use our humility without judgment. We all, again, from our own cultural beliefs and experiences, we have an understanding, but it's very important to put the judgment aside and to know how to do that, so that we can reflect on our own learning opportunities that are presented to us every day. Then I would say another skill would be a lifelong learning with a growth mindset. I have lived and worked in countries all over the world, from Central America to Europe, to the US, China, Thailand, and it is very important to go into a culture with a very open mind and approach where you are there to learn, learn from them, and then to take action for positive change. So to be, to be active in making things better, right? Rather than closing things off, we want to be open to change and differences. And then going along with the definition of multicultural skills comes the multicultural competence, right? One thing is to learn the skills, but the most important part is to be competent in practicing those skills. Only in that way will we be able to break down the barriers, understand each other, and then solve world problems. So it's very important to have a sensitivity to others by appreciating their differences and appreciating their identities. So I believe that all of these skills are vital in the multicultural education.
Okay, since you have been working in international school, not only in Thailand, but I believe in China and in South America, right?
Yes.
Have you seen any incidents of students not having these skills, such as open-minded, understand other cultures, or willing to interact with people from other cultures, or just misunderstanding according to cultural backgrounds? If you have, could you share the experiences of students not having these skills and what happened if we don't have these skills?
Okay, I'll start probably with the language skills, right? I think that language can either open borders or open, our minds to new perspectives, or close them. So when children or students are not competent in those language skills, it will cut off those opportunities for learning. So again, the languages give them doors or windows into new understandings. In order for the students to learn the multicultural skills, it's very important that the educators can model that, right? So I'll move away from the students a little bit to the educators. Our students are learning and modeling us, the leaders, the teachers, right? So it's the teachers and the educators who need to have those skills as well. And I'd like to talk about a few specific skills, which might be defining vocabulary, such as, let's say we talk about international curriculum or the word curriculum in itself. If you're working in different countries, people will have a different understanding of what curriculum means. In some places, curriculum is prepared by the Ministry of Education and the resources are given to the students, right? In other international settings, schools will create their own curriculum based on some national standards from one country or another. So my point is that when we are all at the table talking about a curriculum that is being implemented for the students, it's important that we all know what our definition is of curriculum. And I find that you can go for many months or years at a school where not everyone understands the same definition of that. So as schools, as educators, I think it's our responsibility to make sure that we agree on a set of definitions, a set of guidelines that we will use to meet a shared belief.
Okay. So we should have mutual share belief first, and then so that we can live together under that share belief or agreement, right?
Correct. Yes. And then that will lead to supporting the students in their learning. It is important that we understand that the students are children and they are learning. This is new for them, and they will make mistakes, right? And their mistakes might not be intentional to hurting others or to prejudices or stereotypes, right? They're just learning how this works. So it's also important for the adults in the room to give them the opportunity to make mistakes, to correct them, and to guide them to the reasons why this will cause perhaps conflict among cultures, right? We do need to be sensitive to that with children.
Okay, thank you very much. I would love to know more, but we'll come back to you later about what are some of the share rules or share practice among students from various parts of cultures and but we'll come back to that. But first, let me move toคุณอาจารย์อภิญญาศรีเสน from Gosum Vitaya Sun School in Mahasarakham, right? So it's a Thai school, a Thai government school, right? So we will hear from a different perspective from the international school in a Thai school, in a Thai setting, right? In a Thai school setting. What do you think are the important multicultural skills?
Yes, okay. Okay, let me introduce myself once again. My name is Pinyasi Sen, and I'm an English teacher from Gosum Vitaya School in Mahasarakham province. As an English teacher in a small province, like I teach students who mostly come from a similar or same cultural background. However, this doesn't mean like we lack diversity, because multicultural education is like the principles of equity like, amongst all students, despite their cultures, ethnicities, races, beliefs, or backgrounds, right? So even in the classroom that where students come from the same culture, we can still like practice multicultural skills. And could you please, yes, thank you. Due to the rapid advancement of technology, my students are no longer limited to interactions within the classroom or that's only their community. They are now have access to a world where they can meet and collaborate with people from various cultures. And as I often tell my students, like learning begins with curiosity. And this curiosity that drives the development of the skills necessary for to thrive in our globalized world. And what I love about teaching is that every day is different. I have to build the new relationships with my student every day. And when I have to build or watch them open up, it's truly amazing. Because they are all different, right? In my classroom, diversity is just not only about difference, but is about honoring everyone's differences in meaningful and positive ways. Every day, my students like share their experiences of the world that they are exploring, whether through like social media or online games or even the news, right? And I think it's like truly a privilege to see how technology brings them closer together. I get questions and new information every day. They start like asking thoughtful questions like, why do they act like that? Why do they dress that way? Or why does my friends behave that way? Like maybe they have friends from like other side of the world and they come to the classroom and ask us about that. I learn new things every day from my students. Students learn new things and I as a teacher also learn new things every day. And most of the questions that they get is from their curiosity and their eagerness to like understand the differences they see in their media. And I think it's quite beautiful because as teacher, I think it's our responsibility to like guide their thinking or answer their questions and help them develop critical thinking and problem solving skills. They can like so that they can adapt to a multicultural society. And the skill that in today's world, the skill that I think we need the student to know are like, these are the 5 skills that I list, and I think the students need to learn and know about this. The first one is like, they need open-mindedness. I mean, the ability to consider new ideas, viewpoints or way of life, and be willing to embrace different perspectives and adapt to new situations, which helps students engage positively with people from different backgrounds. And they also need cultural awareness, the ability to understand, appreciate, and respect differences in like costume, values, or communication styles. And another crucial skill that is effective communication skills is quite crucial because it is not just only in language, in understanding, but non-verbal communication like body language, gestures that vary across cultures. This includes like active listening, adapting language to different audience, and understanding like gestures is also important, and they need to have like the smart way to communicate. And the next one is adaptability. They need to be flexible and willing to adjust to different customs or practice and environments. And lastly, they need empathy. Maybe perhaps one of the most important skills, because empathy allows students to like understand other or like to put themselves in another person's shoes. It will help them to build strong relationships. So for me, without this skill, like misunderstanding can arise, leading to like conflicts or miscommunication. Yes, if students lack multicultural competence, they may face challenges in working maybe in the future. Yes. Please move to the next one, please. Okay. And now, yes, Thailand, like we prepare the student for the multicultural skills, right? Especially in the language on languages and culture, because language and culture come along together, right? For example, we study Chinese, we have English, yes, English, and even ASEAN community studies. We like try to employ active learning methods to encourage students to enhance their critical thinking and problem solving skills. Like students are taught to reflect their own context and culture while learning new cultures through various educational frameworks like CBL or community-based learning or content, language, and integrated learning. These are the framework that we use to like teach students to foster the student skills about multicultural education. Like in subject like social study, we cover the topics as cultural diversity, human rights, and the importance of inclusion. Yes, and these are like part of our compulsory curriculum that every student must study in Thailand. I mean, and we also open for the school to like choose their own expectations. For example, like the policy related to school uniforms in some area of Thailand, we have different school uniform, right? The holidays, their own holiday, and the autonomy like given to school to make decision to help foster an inclusive environment. Like, and in the textbook, we also highlight the diversity in terms of like race, religions, and culture. So the students are given opportunity to learn about these skills through classroom, or maybe sometime or through social media or digital media. However, there is still a gap because in some rural areas, like in my school, in my province, students like they have never interacted with people from different culture firsthand. They just like learn from the classroom, learn from the situation that the student like set in for them. In some school, like we have foreigner teachers, right? For the student to learn from them. We have the teachers from like England, from America, or from Philippines to let the student to like experience or interact with people from different cultures. But it's still like just like quite small plates for them. But in their real life, they have never like experienced that. Okay, please move to the next one. Yeah.
Yes, I have a small question.
Yes.
Question for you. You mentioned that in your school, your students have never met with people from other cultures, right? You mean foreign teachers or?
I mean, yes, they have studied with like the foreigner teachers, but in some cultures that is quite different. Like just only like the foreigner teachers is their only own experience that they can interact. I mean, in terms of language and cultures. But like for example, the Chinese language we study with Thai teacher. And the culture that we learn from Thai teacher, and we learn in that's only the classroom. Yes, like in my area, in my province, we don't have like that much diversity in the terms of race or culture or religion.
Okay, I will come back and ask about what the school have done to increase the possibility for students to have multicultural encounters. Okay, but I will move to the next speaker first for this round. Thank you so much for sharing. คุณมลดา คะ thank you for waiting. I'm excited to hear from you, from your rich experience working internationally within other national contexts, right? Could you share with us what do you think are the important multicultural skills that people should have in order to live in the globalized world like today, either virtually or physically living in other countries or contacting with people like through social media, through online meeting?
Well, thank you, Professor Titimadi. Actually, I agree with all previous speakers, and we do have overlapping points. So I would only add to the ones that are not repetitive. From my own experience, when we talk about multicultural society, we don't only refer to people, but I believe it's the surrounding environment. And Thailand is one of the very multicultural society. Speaking from, I'm from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Currently, Thailand isn't only the member of ASEAN, but we are an active role in APEC and also ACMEC in Greater Mekong region. And we interact actively with numbers of other countries. So as a citizen myself, and number of other people in different careers, we all encounter international environment. So I think one of the very key skills, no matter whether that person has an exposure to foreigner or not. But even in Thailand itself, we are very diverse in terms of religion, languages, culture, and backgrounds. So I would say adaptability in that sense, meaning we don't have to accept the differences. We do not need to accept that. That's in my opinion, but we need to respect. It is not in the natural term. I think it's not natural for us to accept every differences, but you need to respect and understand. Me, myself, as a result of Thai education, and I also went to both Thai education, like real Thai system, and also international system. I learned through Thai classes language and also English classes language. We do come from different background, and what I think was very crucial for me to be able to make friends, to be able to understand others and learn, because in class we don't only learn, but we make friends, we interact with people. And I think that skills that make me stay in school happily and still have a long life friends is when you start to understand. Maybe at first you get angry, but then when you understand the rationale behind it. So that leads me to the second skill is empathy. Cultural empathy. There was one time where my friends used her feet to touch my head when we were sitting down, and I was very angry, but she didn't know what feet mean to Thai culture. So that lead to the third skills that I think is very crucial is communication. So I work in Beijing. I could speak a limited amount of Chinese. That means I'm trying to learn the language to understand the culture. But what if the students say, I don't speak Arabic, I don't speak Spanish, then how do I engage in the multicultural society? But I think communication come with a key element, meaning you could communicate via food, you can make friends through dancing to music. So I think the sense of respect and empathy is a key element to survival in any society, not only in Thailand, but in the globalized world. Yes, that would be for me. Thank you.
Right. I have a follow-up question. You mentioned that the ability to adapt and to understand, to honor, right, to respect other cultures are important. How, from your own experience or from others that you have seen as well, how have you developed those kinds of skills for yourself? What are the roles of the teachers of the school, or you have developed it by yourself, or are there other people who help you?
I think one of the tools that could help me personally and other friends around me that I observe is the opportunity to engage in cultural diversity activities. So I try to meet with people from other culture and also exposure to different medias, meaning movies, music, languages. And if you have an opportunity, then you interact with the tourists. So I'm from Chonburi, one of the leading tourist city. So it's normal that I run into foreigners. It could, and then when I come to Bangkok, it is quite normal that I run into a Chinese. And I think it comes with the mindset to learn that, okay, I was once a person who couldn't speak English fluently, but then I just go ahead and just try to talk to another person, with my teacher, with my friends. So I think we shouldn't let the limitation of how do I say, accessibility to opportunity, but we should utilize what we have in hands, be it I'm from a province, not in Bangkok. And then later on, I was sent to study abroad. So with all the medias we have now, like I think one of the speaker mentioned that these days we have numbers of learning tools that we could utilize. And I think it's way much easier for the student these days to have an access to learning different cultures and enhance their skills. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And I love the point that you mentioned about not only in the world, but within Thailand itself, we are very diverse, right? It doesn't mean that multicultural skills have to be used with people from other countries, but be able to respect the differences that people have, either around our town, within our school, within our family, or people near to us. It's very important. So let me move to the next question in terms of your thought or opinion of how students in Thailand are doing in terms of multicultural skills, as in comparison with students in other countries. And what should be done to improve or to develop their multicultural skills. Can I start with Ajahn Sangkhair from OBEC first?
Sure ค่ะอาจารย์ just to give you a quick overview of the how students in Thailand are doing right now. Let me allow me to share the screen. Slide number 11, please. Okay, so that everybody can see the whole picture of both students and teachers, because teachers and students are, you know, like working in the same team, right? So if the teacher's language proficiency is high, as an educator, we believe that the students' language proficiency will go, you know, like will follow the teacher's language proficiency as well. And I believe that you guys are seeing my slide right now. Yes? Okay, thank you. So from the graph, it shows that these are the number of students and teachers that has been developed using the CEFR aligned English language proficiency test and training. So you can see from 2020, like I think 2020, and fast forward to this year, 2024. These 5 or 4 years with this half of decade, you can see that the graph is showing higher levels of development. So you can see the number of students they have been receiving the opportunities to know where they are in terms of their language proficiency. Even if the Ministry of Education launched the CEFR policy back in 2014, students didn't know where they were. And talking about language learning, if the learners don't know where they are, you can't provide them where they go. So as Ministry of Education, we need to provide a platform or language testing platforms for students to learn about their own language ownership. So if they know where they are, then they can prepare themselves in learning classroom. Teachers will be able to plan language learning for students. You know, it will be in corresponding practice in classroom. So I think that these numbers will show you the quick picture of how Ministry of Education is working to help both teachers and students. And to compare with other countries, I believe that as Thailand is still monolingual society, like we use Thai as our native language, if we put students into context, the whole classroom will be Thai, speaking Thai to each other. And it is hard work, as Ajahn Apinya said, that she needs to, learn from students and need to, follow with the social media it's doing right now to prepare students to international contexts. So if we are preparing students to do so, I believe I would like to, the admin can turn off the slide now. So I'd like to share some of the ideas of the article that I think it's relevant to both teachers and students. And the article is from CMEO RELC. And CMEO is one of the organizations that Ministry of Education is working closely through our ASEAN countries. It's the Ministry of Education of our ASEAN communities. And the article name, it's named How Well Do ELT Textbooks Prepare Students to Use English in Global Contexts? An evaluation of the Vietnamese English textbooks from an English as an international language, EIL perspective. And what I would like to talk about or discuss about this article is that we are talking about multicultural skills. It means that we are dealing with changing socio-linguistic reality of English in classroom practices, right? It's not just putting students in context and let them judge or not judge, understand or not understand, but it's more about how you give floor or opportunities for them to learn from that. If you don't have the context for students to learn, then they will have to, find the context by themselves. As teachers and educators, we need to provide that. And I think one of the key materials that teachers will use as a weapon in classroom is the textbook or online materials, applications, or websites. And I think if we're talking about textbooks can serve as a powerful tool for equipping learners with knowledge of world Englishes and intercultural communication skills. So the article mentioned interesting point for teachers, and it says something about the analytical framework. Questions for teachers to select the textbooks or materials to prepare students to be able to deal with, multicultural communities. The dimension that they mention is questions like, what types of communication were found in textbooks? So communication between, in this article name is like Vietnamese speakers. And if we adapt to our context, it would be communication between Thai speakers. We have the dialogue in textbooks. We have the characters, right? In the conversation practice, part 1, conversation 1. There will be Johnny talking with Jennifer. Yeah, but then what about the communication between Thai, like Ajahn Apinya and Jennifer? Is there any opportunity for students to learn that? Multicultural settings, or communication between Vietnamese and non-Asian speakers would be Ajahn Apinya, Ajahn Monrada, and other ASEAN community members. Or communication between Vietnamese and other ASEAN English speakers, or communication between non-Vietnamese or non-Thai, or other dimension that we should, open our mind when we select materials or textbooks or online materials for our students would be unspecified, like speakers' names, like I mentioned earlier, Jennifer, Ajahn Titi Madi in textbooks, or opportunity for students to observe the use of accommodation strategies like clarification requests, code switching in multicultural communication, yes or no, and what language ideologies are promoted, like native speakerism, predominance of native speaker models. Yeah, so lack of English variations, stuff like owners of English language. So who owns a language in this textbook? Or you could promote multilingualism, raising learners' awareness, like let them observe why in this Arabic English textbook they use Assalamu alaikum. They don't go shake hands, like female and male students don't go shake hands. Why? Can we observe? What is our conclusion? What can we do in a real world situation? So when you meet Muslim female teachers, can male students go and then shake hand or touch their physical appearance, stuff like that, So I think based from this textbook to prepare students, then you can let them observe, analyze using the critical thinking skills or problem thinking skills. And I think I like what Asamreda said, that or all of us talking about is mistakes, it's okay. Like Asamreda said that the feet and the head, right? It happened. It already happened, but how can we deal with the mistakes? Like the anger, how can we manage the anger? And I think that when we, select textbooks, and we can discuss that further with the students in a safe context, such as classroom first, then the students will be well prepared, well equipped to live in multicultural communities.
Okay. So does it mean that in the near future we'll see the adoption of the new English language textbook in the Thai school?
Well, that's a really great, wonderful question, Kazan. Now we all know that we have a lot of commercial textbooks from various providers, like language providers, and I think it's great news. What we have, it's already been good. Because we, as English language learner, one of the English language learner, I think we need diversity. That's one thing. For the CEFR, we need to be able to communicate in real life situations. That's one thing. But we are looking forward to plan for teachers to be able to select textbooks or create or adapt the commercial textbooks to be able to help teachers, both teachers and students, to live in the plural linguistic world, like what I said. So I think you will see, like the adaptability and flexibility in textbook or teaching materials soon.
Okay, thank you very much. Kun Alice ka, Miss Alice from International School, Basis International School. I would love to hear more from you about your thought or your experience on how students in Thailand are doing in terms of multicultural skills.
Okay, my experience with students in Thailand using multicultural skills is that it is very much embedded in the culture of Thailand to practice and learn these skills. Again, one of the skills we spoke about was respect. And in Thailand, people they practice respect with each other, simply in the why, how to greet people, how to address people through the language, the formal language, the informal language. If you are speaking to someone who's older than you, you are using a different form of the language than if someone is younger than you or at the same age as you. So I do feel that a lot of the skills needed are built into the Thai language and the culture itself. Within the Thai local schools and also the international schools, the Thai curriculum is very important. There is an international Thai curriculum practiced at international schools. It is mandatory. There are a certain amount of hours that are given to the curriculum and the different subjects within the Thai curriculum, the language, the culture, the traditions, these are all embedded into the curriculum. So as we were saying before, that there's a need for successful multicultural competence, you need to understand your own culture. Thailand Ministry of Education provides that in both the local and international schools. There's access to understanding one's own culture. So I do believe that the children and the students have the foundation for that multicultural awareness just because of the society and the Ministry of Education's, I guess, commitment to teaching the culture. There's also, I find, a very important part of how people act is through observation. People they'll listen to, and they'll observe others, right? There's an openness to understand. And I believe that Thai students have that willingness and ability. And along with that, one of my quotes for this particular conversation was that the innate respect for the pursuit of intellectual achievement in the Thai culture lends itself to Thai students acquiring multicultural skills. Education is so important to the culture and the people. It is held with high regard for the future of the child, for the future of the families. So that natural respect for education provides, again, the foundation or a pillar for then the students to achieve. They are very willing, they are very driven, and very competitive in their academic achievement. So through learning more, you acquire more skills and then are more capable to practice those skills.
Okay, thank you very much. So it means the curiosity to learn plus the respect, right, for others.
Yes. Yes.
Good.
There's what in education, what we are doing is we're looking for commonalities, right? When we do introduce a new topic, perhaps world belief systems or indigenous peoples around the world, what we're looking for first are some commonalities, some connections among humans. Who are we as human beings? And that then takes away the fear or the unknown from the new learning. Where learning might be obstructed is through that fear. I don't know something, I don't understand, it's not familiar to me. I've seen students when I worked in Europe rejecting a particular topic because they knew nothing about it. I had a student in tears once because they just didn't understand what this might represent. So again, it's our commitment towards persevering. I know this is difficult for you, but we can do this if we're open-minded, if we don't give up. We can try different ways to understand, and in the end, the students are passionate about this particular group of people or this particular belief system that they knew nothing about. So it's wonderful as a teacher or educator to see that change in mindset of a child. Years later, I was able to see this same child use an example of these people. It was the Maasai people in Africa. She was able to use that in one of her university papers, right? So you can see over time how, although something was a challenge at a younger age, how it was able to open their mind and have them understand different perspectives. And that is just one example, and that will then transfer to other situations. But again, it's important they are allowed to make mistakes, that we persevere in supporting them through the challenge to understand.
Wow, thank you very much. That's wonderful. Okay, Kun Apinya, you've mentioned earlier that there are 5 skills of 5 multicultural skills, which are important, and I think these are all shared among all of our speakers today. And I'm curious to know about how Thai schools prepare students for those skills, right? I think you alluded to that earlier in your talk, but you also mentioned the limitation of the schools or the students. I think it's the context of the school to enhance students the opportunity to have multicultural encounters, right? So in your own experience, how have the school prepared the students for multicultural skills, and how are Thai students doing in terms of their level of multicultural skills?
All right. Okay. I will start from like the small point. Is it like multicultural skill in classroom? The differences and the diversity in each students. Actually, they come from like different family, right? Even though they come from the same religion or culture, but they has been brought up in different ways. So the first thing is about like how they behave or interact when they work in groups or work in pairs. So we try to let the student learn about the differences and respect the differences by using like their think pair share activity or collaborative learning to let them give them opportunity to know or to learn about the differences. And for the school level, we try to like have like the activities that includes that involves about cultures. When we study language in school, we have like the Christmas activity in school, or Halloween activity, or Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year activity. In social study, we have like the ASEAN Day that let the student to explore or to learn more about the ASEAN culture or the world culture. We try to like give students opportunities to engage themselves in the situations that not just about like learning in the classroom or in the textbook. They have to like interact or show their respect or try to understand, because when we work or when we study, the student always have questions, right? Why do they behave act like this? Why do like talk like this? Why I cannot like touch, if you are a girl in Thailand, you cannot like touch the monk, or in the Muslim friends, they cannot eat something, or the limitation of each culture. Yes, they learn, but what is the reason why? We need to like teach them, not teach, we need to let them think and try to think critically about the question that they have, and then let them learn to adapt to the future world that they will face in the future. Not just only about learn in the class, but give them experience or opportunity to explore or to use that multicultural skill. This is what I see in my school and in my classroom. But in the level of the country, I have seen like many policy or projects for students to explore or to use their multicultural skill. For example, like the exchange program that Ajahn Sankya mentioned earlier. Yes, we have the exchange program, but it's still limited to the student who like are excellent in English, or who are like who can afford to pay for the exchange program. But what about the student who doesn't have that much money to afford it? So we try to like give student opportunity to learn or to know and to adapt, not just only know, but they have to adapt to them for living in the future. Yes, critical thinking, problem solving skill, and the adaptability. It's very crucial for multicultural skill.
Okay, thank you. Kun Molada, what do you think about Thai students and their multicultural skills? How are they doing, in your opinion, compared to other countries, compared to children in other countries? I know that you are not from like the education areas, but probably from your own experience, being in contact with students or your friends from around the world.
Well, I guess we'll have to say that Thailand is actually in a very strategic location if you look in the area. So as I mentioned earlier, we are popular on tourism. So I think that is a key point for Thai students. And I couldn't agree more with what Alison mentioned about Thai culture. And it's actually a very good observation on how Thai people are very respectful. And because we do have that race since when we are kids, and since Thai people are so respectful, so when we encounter other culture, we are afraid or we feel hesitant if we do this wrong and that wrong. And I think that could be looked in the two ways. One is actually good that we show respect to other people, and on the other side is that for Thai kids, we need a little push. We need a little push for them to be confident when it comes to speaking another language, when it comes to entering a new person or doing something new. And for me, I work quite actively with other youth organization. For example, the SHIP for Southeast Asian with Japan, Japanese government, and also Greater Mekong sub-regions with China exchange program, and also with an exchange program with the US government. So I think in Thai community, we can see in two pillars. One is the kids in the urban area. So we need to admit that those kids in the urban area have more access to opportunities to engage with cultural exchange activities. Whereas the outbound area, less interactive. But I like how teachers in schools are trying to organize cultural day, like ASEAN Day, International Day. And I think that momentum should increase more. Like Ajahn Apinya mentioned about maybe having the Moon Cake Festival. And maybe we can add more. Like I didn't know about Ramadan when I was young until I went to international school of why my friends stopped eating. And those kind of increase opportunities should be advanced more. And yeah, that's my observation. And allow me to add more on what the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have been doing, because I think education itself isn't only in class, but I think the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been active in trying to enhance learning opportunities for international value for kids, and not just culture aspect, but also SDG and international values that are increasingly important at a national level, like the environmental policies. So the International Organization Department has been doing a domestic tour around Thailand, where we go to different schools to share experience about how how we can be a global citizens to contribute to the local community in achieving our net zero carbon policy, or the awareness of loving our planet. That's because I think when we talk about multicultural aspects, it closely linked to being a global citizen with a set of values that you understand international values or international norm, be it not only the differences in background, but the things that are important in the current society. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So we come to our last question. which I would love for all of you to share your last thought about what should be done and what are the roles of all the stakeholders, not only the school or the Ministry of Education, but also other stakeholders in society, local community, in terms of preparing students for this multicultural skill that we have been discussing. อาจารย์แสงแขค่ะ Shall I start with you, please?
Okay, I think what can be done first, start from the Ministry of Education. I think the ministry should provide ongoing teacher training in CEFR-based language teaching and promote exchange program like Apinya said. We should rethink about how we can help more or invite more students to join the programs. We have a lot of scholarship programs for students and teachers who are willing to, participate in such programs. And since that the policy that has been announced like a couple of days ago, we know that the new policy is aimed at leveraging AI for bilingualism in school system, which is good news. And I think it's going to be groundbreaking for many local schools that are, using only programs of English or Chinese. They should be able to, promote more languages. To support multilingualism or multicultural skills by using the AI. So if the students cannot afford, budget to go living or being in the exchange program for a year, that would be more than like 200,000 baht for one student. Yes. So by using AI would erase the limitations for that for students who can be in, let's say, metaverse or some AI communities that we have AI characters from different countries, to prep the students first, and then later students or teachers can join the program like we're doing right now, the webinar or classroom online. We can pool teachers from different countries, and this dialogue, this conversation has been discussed with the international affairs of the Ministry of Education. We discussed about this last year, and I think that this fiscal year, this financial year, we would see some different activities that will help teachers and students to be equal, like to be having the opportunities that are equal for them, not just to those who are privileged. So I think that would be one thing that ministry can do. For the second thing that other stakeholders can support the Ministry of Education would be parents and community. And I think that we should encourage parents to be on the same page of the ministry, know the policy, why is it important to your children, talk about it, understand it, have the shared goals. So, and I think that parents would be able to know and prepare their children and then family members to be ready to learning in this new policy, because AI is not new. And but how can we train the teachers to be able to use AI appropriately, and also how can we train the AI, not just to train a human to use AI, but how can we train AI to understand us, more about multicultural skills. And I tried to type up your questions given to AI, and then I got so many ideas about multicultural skills. But then I think deeper, like, how can we teach the AI to really understand multicultural skills or multilingualism in our context-based situations, like I mentioned earlier about minority language. When we're talking about bilingualism, how can we let the parents or the communities know that it's not only English and Thai? Because that's the first conceptual mindset of the society, like, oh, bilingualism is Thai and English, or Thai and Chinese. But if you are like in Nong Khai area, it would not be the first. The Thai language would not be the first, right? It would be Laos language, or would be Cambodian language, or could be Myanmar. So how can we let the parents that are not in the area of Nong Khai understand the situation that is different, and help each other to, like, promote this and make it make the goals achieved. And students also need to take ownership of their language learning. Like, they really need to create their own language map. Like, they really need to represent their linguistic repertoires visually. Like, they need to know, okay, I'm using Thai as my native tongue. Like, first, you need to be literate in your own native language to understand other languages, right? So I think that would be the first thing that students need to adapt and need to do this first before we start this bilingualism policy in the school system of Thai locals. Like, it's not like international context, like, because it's only Thai students or minority language users. So we need to prepare this to create the opportunities. Could be language map or could be culture map to start with.
Thank you so much. Kun Alison, can you share your thought on how can we increase multicultural skills and what are the roles of the stakeholders?
Yes, thank you. I like your reference to language literacy. I think we can also link that to cultural literacy, right? So for families, it's very important that they foster and develop and celebrate their own culture so that students can, or children can, understand what their own culture, language, identity is. It is important for families to foster the values as well. This isn't done, I would say, it's not done separately. So when we talk about education, we are a community. The community is the school, the family, the students, the teachers, the Ministry of Education. We're all working together for the same goal, for student success, achievement, and well-being. So yes, we all have our individual responsibilities, but it's important that we understand that we communicate with each other on those different levels so that the understanding is transparent and equal. So for the families, yes, they do have a responsibility. Providing the well-being for the students. They should be eating well, having a good diet, right? Without that, it's hard for them to learn. So that well-being, ask them questions, talk to them about what they're learning, allow for that curiosity to develop, as those will be important skills for the future. Again, create positive academic environments where the students can focus on their learning. Monitor them. Don't be afraid to monitor them and ensure that they are focused on their learning. They're still learning how to use, digital devices. It's important that as adults and families, we are there to support them in the correct line of that. At schools, it's important that we are providing professional development for our teachers. Teachers continue to need education in multicultural awareness, understanding of diversity. What are the implications of race, ethnicity, religion, language, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, gender identity? These are all things that teachers encounter every day in the classroom, and they do need support in a deeper understanding of how to create that multicultural classroom. Even learning disabilities, physical disabilities, these are all skills that teachers are dealing with every day in their classroom. So the support from the Ministry of Education, which provides many conferences, workshops for national and international teachers to attend here in Bangkok, at other schools, to share their understanding. That is very important and should continue. The teachers, of course, to be the positive role models, to be very conscious of the fact that they are they're the role model for the child. So what they do, what they say, the way they dress, the way they act is a way of teaching. Let's see, develop one's own, so the students, yes, we like to foster student agency, or we call it learner agency, where the child is responsible. They do have accountability for what they're doing, as you said earlier. We will help them with those self-management skills and organizational skills, right? But give them that understanding that they are responsible and that they can have a positive impact on society.
Thank you very much. Okay, the same question to you. What do you think, คุณอภิญญา อาจารย์อภิญญา
Yes, for me, okay, I have mentioned about the role of the school and the teachers already, right? But I would like to talk about the role of the communities. In the past, when the foreigner teachers or the foreigner it came to my school, most of the students they were afraid of the foreigners. They are afraid of the foreigners, right? But due to the technological advancement, they know or they learn the new culture through their phone or their social media. Now, when we have the activity or the events that let the student to learn more about the culture from the foreigners or people of different countries, they are very excited to explore, to learn, to know more from the real person or that culture, the native. They are afraid to speak to the foreigners, and they are afraid of making mistakes. I'm so happy because when I take my friends or the foreigners teacher to the student in the rural area, in the remote area, their eyes are shining, they are excited to learn, to know who are you? Why are you so white? Why are you so black? They would like to know because they learn from the phone, right? And when they see in their real life, in their real experience, they are really happy and thrilled about that. So I would like, or I hope the government or the policymaker to give more opportunities for the students to have the experience to attend or engage in the activities or some exchange cultural exchange for them, especially in the rural area. If you give them opportunity, it's I think you can change their world, their whole world. Yes, I hope maybe the government or the policy maker will give us, especially the student in the rural area, more opportunity to explore about the culture.
โอเค thank you very much คุณอาจารย์มลดาคะ what do you think
Yes.
what should be done
Right. When I was asked these questions, well, I'm a person who is outside of the education system, but for me, I grew up with a family that attached great importance to learning new languages, new culture, and have new experiences. So I couldn't agree more with what Alison mentioned about family, that you learn from schools, but you also have the parents, the environment around the students also need to be quite supportive of the mindset to learn anything new around the students' experience. And another key point, which Ajahn Apinya mentioned, I think if the country want to set moving forward progress on this aspect, it has to be also from a bottom down initiative. The government maybe has to integrate a multilateral or multicultural aspects of lessons so that the teacher have more equipment, have more content, because what I observe now is from bottom up where different teachers take initiative from creating their own lesson content. From one person from this province search information about this and prepare this game for the kids, whereas the other person see that this content is interesting, so they teach to the kids. So in order to standardize the quality, I think this has to come from government initiative. And as I'm from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I would like to share that when I was in Beijing, I got a lot of invitation from schools for diplomats to speak in school. And we are more than happy to go to school and speak about our own country in the school to Chinese students. And I would like to give that as one of the options for schools. And if we have Thai teachers here now listening online, I would recommend that the teacher can actually send emails, go online on the website directly to the embassy, or I would recommend maybe contacting to me, and I'm more than happy to connect you with the embassies, and we'll see which one. I think a lot of them, they have education section, they have cultural sections, and their duties is here, one of which is to promote and exchange their culture. And I think the embassy is one of the tools that can work actively with the school, which is what I did back in China with respective primary school in China to promote Thai culture. And we can do that vice versa in Thailand. Thank you.
Wow, great. Thank you so much for all of our speakers today to share your valuable experiences and thoughts on this topic. And I'm sure our listener will get many valuable thoughts from you, also implication for practices, or they might reach out to Kun Molada and ask some of the ministry, some of the I forgot to say
Embassies contacts, right?
embassy talking to their schools. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So we end the session now. ขอบคุณค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
ขอขอบคุณผู้ร่วมเสวนาทุกท่านเป็นอย่างสูงครับผมขอรับช่วงต่อจากผู้ดำเนินรายการรองศาสตราจารย์ดร.ทิติมดีอาพัฒนานนท์ครับผมและขออนุญาตประชาสัมพันธ์สักเล็กน้อยครับขอให้ผู้เข้าร่วมประชุมทุกท่านทำแบบประเมินความพึงพอใจหลังจากจบแต่ละหัวข้อซึ่งสามารถเข้าไปทำแบบประเมินความพึงพอใจได้ทาง QR code ที่ขึ้นอยู่หน้าจอณขณะนี้หรือว่าจะเป็นลิงก์ที่ทุกท่านได้รับทางอีเมลหรือว่าจะเป็นที่เว็บไซต์ ksp-1bina.1.th ซึ่งเมื่อทำแบบประเมินความพึงพอใจเรียบร้อยแล้วทุกท่านก็จะสามารถดาวน์โหลดกิตติบัตรอิเล็กทรอนิกส์จากในระบบได้เลยทันทีครับสำหรับในช่วงเช้าก็จบลงไปแล้วนะครับผมซึ่งเราจะกลับมาพบกันอีกครั้งในเวลา 13 นาฬิกาโดยหัวข้อเสวนาในช่วงบ่ายมีดังต่อไปนี้ครับเวลา 13 นาฬิกาถึง 14 นาฬิกา 30 นาทีพบกับการเสวนาในหัวข้อดิจิทัลกับการศึกษาและเวลา 15 นาฬิกาถึง 16 นาฬิกา 30 นาทีพบกับการเสวนาเรื่องการเขียนรายงานวิจัยอย่างมีคุณภาพและพิธีปิดการประชุมครับสำหรับในช่วงบ่ายนะครับห้องประชุมจะเปิดในเวลา 12 นาฬิกา 45 นาทีครับ